Hey guys, and welcome back to Florida Data Science Academy. Now I'll be giving you the answers for the second in-class assignment. So we'll start off by grouping our data, the MT cars data set, and then I want you to group by the cylinder type. And then we're going to pipe that data set through a summarize function. And we want to create a column called mean miles per gallon, and then we're going to set it equal to the mean miles per gallon. And when we run lines 95 and 96, we see that the average miles per gallon for a 4-cylinder car is 26.7. For a 6-cylinder car is 19.7. Then an 8-cylinder car gets 15 miles per gallon. So that's what you would expect, is that cars with bigger engines are going to have lower fuel efficiency. So that's expected. Hopefully you guys were able to also find the aggregated maximum weight and minimum horsepower. So we'll start off again by using the group by function. I'm going to group the MT cars data set by the cylinder type, and then I'm going to pipe that answer through a summarize function where I'm going to find the maximum weight. The weight column, if I run those lines, we see that a 4-cylinder car has a maximum weight of 3.1. I'm assuming that's tons. A 6-cylinder car is 3.4 tons, and an 8-cylinder car is probably 5.4 tons. So as you would expect, bigger engines equals heavier cars. And then the last test that I asked you guys to do was to find the minimum horsepower for each cylinder type. So I'm going to use this pipe syntax, and then I'm going to summarize by creating a column called the minimum horsepower. And then I'm going to set it equal to the minimum value of horsepower. And when I run lines 101 to 102, we find that the minimum horsepower for a 4-cylinder car in the MT cars data set is 52. The minimum horsepower for a 6-cylinder car is 105. And then the minimum horsepower for an 8-cylinder car in the MT cars data set is 150. So hopefully you guys were able to reproduce those answers that I found. And I do want to actually just touch on one other section in our code before we end class 3. And I'm just going to call this other techniques for subsetting and aggregating data. So today we've subset and aggregated data using the dplyr package, but there are also a couple other ways to subset and aggregate data using base R. So let's start off by doing a basic subset of the lumber data set, where we just want to subset all of the products by pine. So I only want the rows in the lumber data set where the product was equal to pine. So I'm going to create this subset by using the subset function. In dplyr, we use the filter function. In base R, we can use the subset function. So we're going to subset lumber by the lumber product, where lumber product is equal to pine. And if we subset using line 108, we can look at this new pine data set, and we get all of the rows where a product is equal to pine. So that's another way of subsetting data in R. I actually tend to use the subset function more than the filter function. It's just a preference. You guys can do whatever you think is more appropriate. But now we're going to do another aggregation. So previously we're using group by and summarize. That's the dplyr way of using aggregating data. But there's also a base R methodology. So I want to find the average weight for each product. So I'm going to create an object called average weight product, and I'm going to set it equal to the aggregate function. So I'm going to aggregate the column of interest is pounds. And then I want to, the group by function, in this context is going to be a list, this list function within the aggregate argument. So I'm going to use lumber, and then I'm going to type product. And then the function that I would actually like to use is a mean. So this is a little bit complicated, but I'll walk you through it. So I want to find the average weight for each product. So the column of interest is pounds, and then I'm aggregating by each product, and then I'm finding the mean. And if I run line 110, and I can take a look at average weight per product, we can tell that the average weight for ash, each purchase, is 151 pounds. The average weight for cedar is 163 pounds, and the average weight for pine is 187 pounds. So that's just another way of aggregating data in R and doing some basic analyses. And the last example that I'll give you today is actually involving naming columns. So we can see that we've created this this new data set, average weight product. When we did this aggregation function, we can open up this window and we get these values. But as you can tell, the column names are a little bit awkward. We have this group.1, which is, it stands for the groups that we're aggregating by. And then the X's are, kind of column of interest. They're not that intuitive, those column names. So if we wanted to actually rename those columns, we can use the names function. So we do call names, and then we type average weight products, because that's the data frame that we would like to change. And then we can use the concatenate function. And then the first column that we wanted to rename was, we wanted to call it product, because when you looked in here, group 1 is describing the products. So I'm going to call that product. And then the second column was the average weight. So I can call that average weight. So I'm just renaming the columns within the data frame called average weight. And if I run line 113, I can open it up in my console, and we can see that now we have a column 1 that's equal to product, column 2 is equal to average weight. And I can actually click up here in this previous window, and we can see that the names have already been changed. So that concludes all of the assignments from class 3. Hopefully you guys learned a lot today, and stay tuned for class 4. I probably will be only posting the first 3 classes of this 24-part series on YouTube. So class 4 is going to be for subscribers only. So if you would like to continue on with this course, please go to fldatascience.com, where you can subscribe to this tutorial series, and you can become proficient as a data scientist. And thanks a lot for your interest in this course, and stay tuned for more information. Thanks.